Actually get a run this time. Hey, we'll pick it up this time. But yeah, the thing in stream link for it, or we're just gonna YouTube video. The bot gonna work? Guess not. I guess the bot isn't gonna work today. Shame. Streamlink is having a mare. Alright, let's go. Tagging everyone. Alright. Let's go. We're about to get going for the beginning of this race. Mediums at the start of the two. Anonymous in third. JP has forgotten that he is actually meant to start. He's right at the back. Here comes Profke as they go around turn one. Anonymous in second. Jin dropped down there in the Ford GT. You've got Squishy Sunset just got himself up in a fourth. A little bit of contact in behind between Asador and Slim. I'm still not entirely sure what's happened to Greenwood, to JP here. You know, Spin in last, Yuri in 10th. So, for those who aren't aware, there'll be four different cars on this grid. Teams of 3 or 4 apiece. I think it's most of the teams will have 3 for tonight, given the amount of people in the lobby. Stand on lap 1. You got a Chupa Chup car here. I believe that's a Corvette. That is a Corvette for Javi and Deco. Currently in 8th and 9th as it stands. Then you go further forward. Then you got a Ford. I believe that's a Ford GT18 for BX. It is a pink PlayStation livery. It's Slim in a. Is that a Lexus? I think that's a Lexus. He might be about to be overtaken by BX down the straight here, and he is straight away. BX maybe sending a little bit overzealous and holds on to the position nonetheless. Javi directly behind now. Further forward, you've got Squishy who just picked half a second up in the chicane there in the green PlayStation livery, losing out to Asador in the Corvette, the Chupa Chup Corvette. You know, Jin in the red PlayStation, so you got a little bit of a theme going on here in the PlayStation team. Javi into the pit straight away, going off the hard tires. JP has actually got himself up and running, but his race is over already. Even though it's 2 hours long, we'll find it very hard to recover from this. You got Spin, who's in 10th, Yuri in 9th, Slim directly in front of Yuri to the inside. Is he gonna get it? No, it doesn't look like he will. Can't tell if that's an FT1 or a Supra. I think that's a Supra that they're driving. Let's have a look. Let's display car name. It is the Supra. And display. Oh, there you go. So let's have a look at what else is going on here. Deco's in 7th. You got Squishy in 6th. Obviously, BX directly in front of that. BX is going to be going after Asador, and then Jin in front of him as well. Well, we're in the opening stages, the opening couple of minutes of the next 120. It looks like BX is... Jin is fighting Asador, sorry, there's the wrong colour PlayStation livery there. BX might have gone a bit too deep to try in avoiding that corner. We'll wait and see if the game's going to give him anything as a result. Doesn't look like it has, so he survived for now. With BX, with Asador directly in front of him. A very interesting scenario. Yeah, it's going for the outside here against Asador. It's playing G4 GT versus Corvette. Asador is getting slipstream because Jin has not got out of the way, but I think there may have been an issue. And the issue, I think, is lying with Asador. Couldn't get anywhere near a good enough angle of that. BX has had a bit of an issue as well, because he's now dropped all the way back to Squishy, and Squishy now losing out to Deco, with Slim directly behind that. Yuri also trying to tack himself onto the back of the group here. Squishy gets a bit slidey on the exit of turn 2, which means Deco moves up a position. The top two starting to drift off already from the rest of the pack. Slim to the inside of Squishy. It looks like a really good move. He can stick it. On the inside of the prior corner, he has stuck it up into 7th. And Squishy has had a bit of a mare again on the exit. Yes, they're going to allow for Yuri to have a go. Squishy now being chased down by the Supra. It'll look like Yuri's gone for a move. Yuri just staying behind a little while longer. Not entirely sure how sensible that is. There's still early doors. Jin and Asador going at it again. The red PlayStation livery versus the Chupa Chups Corvette. Here comes BX to the outside as well. BX going the long way round against his own teammate. Damage for BX as well. BX has damage to the front of his car. That is not good news. Jin is off of his medium tyres. Yeah, BX has got damage to the front of his car. The damage in 2-Hour Endurance Series is permanent. Asador going very deep into turn 1. There's 2-3 chicane, and this is turn 4 actually, we were pointing out earlier. Yeah, Asador has managed to get himself a bit of a gap. Deco and Slim fighting it out here, seeing who can get 5th place. Go to the inside now with Slim. That Lexus looking for an opportunity. Got the inside line against the Corvette. Should be able to take the corner a lot better. Will take the corner a lot better and gets the position over Deco. As we are 6 minutes into this race now. Few bits of overtaking on the road infield of the track here in the opening stages. Let's go down the grid 1 minute and see who is on what team. Actually, we'll wait and see if Deco's going to go for a move here. He's definitely got a lot closer. He might be about to pull alongside. No, he backs out. Slim has got a lot closer to BX in the process. So you got Dr. Profke, the Croatian, in the lead of this race right now on the medium tyres in the Supra. His teammates with Yuri here, 7th speed racer, Spin, and I think that's it for now. And the 2 teammates that are with him today. You got Anonymous, Slim, and JP. And Slim now goes round the outside on BX, but I think Slim's got a bit too deep. Carried too much speed, and yep, that will hand the position to both Deco and BX there. So BX up into 4th again. Deco up in the 5th, the highest position he's had all day. That's as far as Slim loses. Looks like we've got, with the 12 people in here, we've got 3 from every team up to this point. Anonymous, JP and Slim are the 3, well I didn't know they're good there for Yuri in the background, are the 3 Lexuses. Then you've got the 3 Corvettes of Javi, Deco and Asador. And then the 3 PlayStations of Jin, BX and Squishy. 4 sets of 3 at the moment. Let's see. It looks like BX is just starting to catch well, actually, Deco got past BX. Deco's up in the 4th. Deco's having a good run of this so far, and maybe about to, well, has an opportunity here to open a gap between BX and his teammate out in front. And do a little bit of defending here on the oval section of this track. It's going to be a very difficult time, but they are both in straight line speed cars, so Deco has the opportunity to defend if he can take it. Let's see if BX has got got an ace up his sleeve here. The answer is no, he does not. Deco, if he can keep the car on the track here, he can. Let's see if that'll work. Should bounce, and it should stop him all bouncing around now. Let's see if Deco can hang on. Yeah, they'll stop bouncing around now, so Deco is actually ahead of BX, and we can see it without seeing cars go flying for no particular reason. And yeah, Deco's still holding on to 4th. Hey up, Jill. See what's going on further back. Spin ahead of Squishy, and then he's got Yuri directly behind that. These two are going to go side by side into the corner by the looks of things. Oh, Squishy's at a moment. I don't know if he got squeezed off, but he's definitely in the grass, and that means that Squishy is going to drop behind both the Supras. There's Yuri here and Spin in 7th. They're both going to go by. Asador now into the pits off of his hard tires on the Corvette. Deco is going to join him, but he's got significantly less fuel. Well, that's going to be a very interesting one, because if the Corvette, I'm pretty sure, is still meant to be shifted about half the dial, halfway through the gear. Save as much fuel as you can possibly get without losing the speed. Slim and BX are 0.7 of a second beside each other at this point as well. On through 6 to start. BX still has his front bumper damage here. And Anonymous and Profka have started to drive off in front. 6.5 seconds now between Profka in the lead and Anonymous in second. Albeit they are on different tyres, it will come back to Anonymous eventually. Anonymous has been flying this season in tier 3, currently 3rd in that tier, and right now has a decent sized gap to BX and to Slim, and BX's damage is causing not to close that gap with any sort of speed whatsoever right now. So Javi is 8 seconds ahead of Jin after their pit stops apiece. Asador 3.4 seconds behind Jin. Deco a further 3 seconds off the back of that. He had to fuel a bit more and should probably stop full revving the car if that's what he's doing. Wasting a lot of time, wasting a lot of fuel here. He is, yeah, he's revving the car out. He needs to stop that. It is not the fastest way to drive this Corvette, I don't think. Unless you're in 6th gear, you don't really have much of a choice. See how he's doing. He's 1.8 seconds behind Squishy. We're about to head into the darkness. Oh, Squishy's having a bit of a mare through the first couple of corners there. His car was facing sideways for a split second. I'll have a bit more of a focus on what Javi's doing in terms of the shifting. Yeah, he is starting to shift about halfway, so it is Deco that's not really caught on how to drive the Corvette properly at the moment. Squishy is being caught the rate of knots right now by Javi, and now that's down beyond a second. About 0.8 of a second split the two of these drivers, 7th and 8th, the German and the Brit. Well, Brit on the standings anyway. I don't know if Javi's actually British. Yeah, 8.5 seconds ahead of Jin now. Comfortable gap at the front. Comfortable gap further up the field. And Slim looks like he has got BX in the process now as well. We're just going to watch this overtake, potential overtake anyway. Javi to the inside of Squishy before the bus stop even gets there. A good move by the Corvette. And now he's got a little bit of time to catch the two Supers in front of him. BX is now starting to use Slim as a little bit of a slipstream as used for slipstream because he has a damaged front bumper. All in all, it's probably quicker for Slim to be in front. Well, it was for about a split second before Slim goes ever so slightly too deep. They are slowly but surely catching up to Anonymous in second. Anonymous still hasn't really put a dent in to what Profkid got the lead. And then again, it is still very, very early on into a 2-hour race. We're 1/8 of the way through the allotted time. And Anonymous is actually starting to lose on Slim a little bit. And this is what we expected. We knew it couldn't happen because BX was losing a lot of time with the front bumper issues, as I've said a couple of times now. But that gap has definitely been coming down, or had been before we entered the oval, and then Slim started losing all the time again. BX is trying to bump draft by the looks of things rather than make an overtake as we head into the bus stop chicane, and it is going to be the case that Slim is getting bump drafts and a little bit of help from the Ford behind him. Oh, BX in the wall! BX is in the wall! Oh, that looks aggressive, and well, there's no way he's not paying for damage now. Quick reminder that 2-hour endurance is heavy damage. It does not go away. BX is in massive trouble now if he's going to try and win this race. Javi is just about to get ahead of the Supra. A little bit of contact there through the final corner of the lap. Yuri still side by side with Javi. Javi! Oh! Those two almost come together. Javi's continued on. Yuri might not be too happy with that, but again, there was contact probably slightly initiated from the inside car. It was definite. I would definitely need a second look at that, because that definitely looked like Yuri just waiting a little bit too long to try and turn the corner, and it did not settle Yuri's car at all. Javi now trying to go after the other Supra now. Squishy got past Yuri. Yuri is now right beside Jin. Still a very long time to go though. Javi already a pit and spin, has not. Javi on the medium, spin on the hards right now. It looks like here comes the outside move. Will he get it done before we even hit the corner? He loves the move here and he's gonna get it done. Spin doesn't even try to defend it in the end to Javi there, and Javi up into fourth, and as it stands, is in a very controlling position in this race. Slim 9 seconds further up the road on hard tyres still. And you've got Anonymous, 4.5, 5 seconds actually up the road now. And still roughly about 6 seconds off the back of Dr. Profke at the front. Not entirely sure what the stream bot's doing there. But yeah. Anonymous right now 4.6 seconds ahead of Slim. And Javi 1.7 ahead of Spin at the moment as well. So things are just starting to shape up. load up the chat myself. In this one, let's see. Yeah, Javi is just clearing spin now, and that shouldn't be too surprising given the difference in tyre and the fact that Javi is one of the fastest drivers we've ever seen in this server. Squishy 3.2 seconds off the back of the Supra. Still a long way to go. There's a lot of gap. There's still 7 seconds between Slim and Javi, both the Eric's teammates, on a Sunday night, on opposite teams tonight. Well, wait and see whether or not that is going to end in explosions later on. But for now, Slim is eating away into Anonymous' gap quite quickly. Last lap. Yeah, an entire 9/10 of a second. Spin is now in the pits off of the hard tyres. Also, actually what I went on Discord originally to see is the rules for this one, whether or not it's just the 1 lap per tyre. Anonymous currently quicker than his fastest lap. His fastest lap so far is a 46.9. You can see on the right hand side of your screen, lap 3 is his fastest lap up to this point. Profka's having a good run at this as well. 45.7 is currently his best lap on the medium tyres. Obviously, he's been on the mediums, and the hards are on the rest of the cars at the front here. If anything is actually going to unfold real quick. 6 seconds the gap again between Profka and Anonymous at the front of the grid. Obviously pit stops will be coming soon, so when they do come, when we get a full picture of who is where on track in terms of net position. Javi is now 5 seconds off the back of Slim. He is closing this down rapidly right now, which is very interesting in terms of strategy for Javi right now. He's just going to try and blitz to the front and then just do his stop from there, rather than having to work his way through strategy to get in. We'll see. Yeah, Javi is starting to close in. Squishy the next car down, 7.5 seconds behind Javi, and then it's Jin after that. Jin's made a stop. I don't think Squishy has. No, Squishy has not. Asador in behind Jin, 5 seconds off the back. Jin is on soft tyres though. They're mediums for Asador right now. Deco, the car behind that, 2.4 seconds. He has closed the gap in just a little bit since their pit stop. Deco has still not figured out that you are meant to be half shifting this car. Maybe they're not in the same party together, and that's what's not giving him any heads up. Then you've got a Yuri, and then you've got Spin, and BX is there behind both of these two, who have already pit. BX is currently on a soft tyre, JP. Well, yeah, his race was not very, not off to the races very quickly, that's a certain. Let's see, yeah, Spin and Yuri just trying to work together a little bit here. Well, I think Spin's got to pick up the pace a little bit here just to save himself from the oncoming BX behind him. The X obviously is on better tyres in terms of compound anyway, maybe not in terms of their actual tyre wear, but definitely their compound. It's about 4/10 of a second now, splitting them. As they head into the bus stop chicane here at Daytona. Rolling with the punches right now is BX, who's got damage early on, had to pit to fix it. And now he's going to go potentially for around the outside of the Supra, or is he going to try and bump draft him? That's the real question. Are they going to work together to try and get to Yuri? And then a potential 2-for-1 for BX, or are they just, or is BX going to go for it now and just try and take advantage of his superior speed? I think it's the latter, because he's just pulled out now onto the outside of turn 1. He's still there, still on the outside, potentially looking for a switchback now. Doesn't get it. That is well defended by Spin there. Into turn 1 here at Daytona with the Supra. Against BX, who's got the soft tyres again. Spin doing enough on the outside lane there just to hold on for dear life to this 10th place. And that's what it's going to be for a lot of the back markers. Here, BX is off the track! BX is off the track again! He hasn't lost a lot of time for this one, maybe just over a second, but he's off the track again. And the mistakes are piling up. Deco 2.1 behind Asador now, but Asador should start breaking that away because he's got Jin directly in front of it. And what was looking like a really good start for the drivers in the PlayStation livery on the Ford GT, starting to crumble away just a little bit. Looks like Asador kind of settling himself in there behind Jin. Needs to try and fashion an opening. It doesn't look like he's going to do it in the infield here. It looks like he's going to have to wait just a little while longer and see if that Corvette is quicker in a straight line. Or is he going to try it now? This would be a ballsy move. He doesn't go for it. That makes sense. It's probably just plain self-preservation right now. It is far too early into a 2-hour race to be thinking of position, but more just naturally a strategy at this point. Have to use every compound of tyre at least one lap. Which is why you saw Javi did do his opening lap there at the beginning of the race and then pitched straight off the hard tyres. So he went for the aggressive strategy straight away. Probably indicates an extra pit stop for Javi as well. Asador still too far back. Deco is now 1.2 seconds here, so he's caught up about 0.8 of a second in a couple of corners. And now the two Corvettes should be able to work together to get past this Ford GT. A little bit further forward, Javi and Slim. Javi and Slim side by side into turn 1. The inside line for Slim, it might still be his. They're going through 2 and 3 now. A little bit of contact between the two RX drivers, but it looks like Javi with the inside line of 4 gets past Slim. He does. Javi getting by Slim there, albeit Javi is on the medium tyres compared to the hard tyres for Slim, but there's still a pretty decent move there for Javi on the outside. Slim looking to the inside there, maybe a little bit more of a bump draft helped Javi there instead of hindered him. Yeah, Slim just starting to, he's just not able to keep up with Javi's medium pace, that's for certain. 46.2 is currently the fastest lap from him so far. Javi 44.8 on the medium tyres is 0.6 of a second quicker. Actually, no, an entire second almost quicker than the leader of the race right now. 3.5 now splits Anonymous and Javi. So this is going to be a rather interesting scenario that might be about to brew up here between Anonymous and Javi. Profka's now 7.5 seconds up in front. And that's probably a good sign for him. Albeit it's on his first set of medium tyres. As I said before, every single tyre needs to be used, every single compound of tyre needs to be used at least once in this race at some point. We hit 25% race distance. You can see there the gap that was there for Anonymous has shrunk massively. Not only to Javi, but to Slim as well. It was 5 and a bit. It's now 3 and a bit. And then you got Squishy, followed by Jin, and then Asador and Deco, as we were before. Asador again, just fuel saving a little bit extra compared to Deco, and it'll be Deco's undoing eventually. Deco looked back on this and probably realized early on that he had lost a substantial amount of time based on the fuel saving on its own measure. Continue on. Jin is still ahead here. 2.2 seconds behind Squishy, who hasn't come off his first set of hards. It's soft on the car for Jin at this point in time, so you can see that Jin is starting to, well, fashion together a strategy. Went on soft second. I believe he's only got the hard left to do now. There's either the hard left to do or the medium left to do. I can't remember what he started on. We're currently coming to the end of lap 17 here with the group of drivers we're currently on. Here comes Asador and Deco to the outside. Asador pulled out early. Is he going to be able to go around the outside, or is he going to be a little bit of an issue for his own teammate? That did not look good there for Asador. Maybe pulled a little bit too far to the inside. And boy, is Jin going to be happy when he catches up to his teammate here. So his teammate can offer him some help and turn this into a 2v2. But for now, Jin's got a bit of pressure behind him. Javi's got past Anonymous. That didn't take too long. We continue to watch the battle here. Here comes Asador, maybe to the outside, maybe going for the long way round against Jin. Maybe a little bit of a switchback attempt. You can tell he was trying something. But once again, the door is slammed shut straight in his face. Oh, Asador with a little bit of tag on the German there. And Asador just took his foot off the pedal a little bit, and Deco is now going to have a chance. Deco is going to have a massive chance here. Deco is going to have an absolutely massive opportunity here to get himself into 6th. He's not going to take it at the moment. Jin's now moving over all the way to the inside just to stop Deco from trying anything, and he's done it successfully, but just about kept his car in a straight line in the process. But yeah, Jin holds on against Deco and Asador for what's probably going to be another lap, maybe half a lap at the very least. Going further forward, sorry. 1.6 now between Anonymous and Slim. Those two are fighting for position. Neither have pit so far. Javi has pit so far, and now he's 4.22 off the back of Profke, who's in the lead. Profke's got a half-second penalty as well for good measure. He had a massive lead. It started to tick down just a little bit. And the penalties aren't going to help him either. JP off the back of the group at the moment. Then it's spinning 11th. BX needs to be making his way through quicker than this. Javi's in 2nd right now, and BX, off of his damage, is in 10th and has been held up by Yuri the entire way. And it's Asador an extra 23 seconds off in the distance. So BX have really got to get a move on. Deco, Jin, Asador still fighting it out. No movement here. A little bit of a train forming in the midfield. One the Corvettes would gladly get out of as soon as they possibly could. I don't think as soon as possibly could is going to come now. He's got the outside line into the bus stop chicane. Jin, if he can do this well enough. Yep, I was about to say, defends it. And Deco never really stood a chance there, did he? never really stood a chance, went to the inside, forgot that too wide of the bus stop chicane is never really an overtaken opportunity. And that means that he is going to suffer the price of this. 2.6 seconds behind his teammate now. And Jin's in the pit, and Squishy's in the pit as well. All he had to do was wait literally half a lap. He would have been set 3 and he wouldn't have lost anywhere near as much time as he did. That's a long time to make up. Slim 1.2 seconds behind Anonymous. These two fighting for position with basically identical everything, being in the same car. Makes sense. Just the difference in the fuel. And Javi is right up beside Profke. Here we go. Maybe a change for the lead of the race for the first time in the first 35 minutes. Profke's had a solid lead up to this point. Javi has been driving like a man possessed though. And Profke is going to hang on into the bus stop chicane. A good exit here and he might be able to hang on out of the bus stop chicane, but it doesn't look like it. Javi has got a significantly better exit. Dips down low now. This should be easy work, and Javi is going to take the lead of this race. There you go, Javi in the lead of the race now. Profke is in the pits for the first time. Javi won't be too much longer before he comes in for a second. Anonymous and Slim now the half a second split these two. We're going to stick to this battle for now, I think. I'm also very intrigued to see where Profke comes out. Bear in mind, Anonymous and Slim are still not pitted. Profke isn't going to be able to beat Deco or Asador out. Those two have just started to put the pace down a little bit. Deco has closed half a second in on Asador in the last half a lap. The last lap or two, sorry. 45.3 to 45.8, yep, that makes sense. Profke, there's BX going round now. It looks like he might beat him out. He is going to beat BX out. So BX has got past the two Lexuses, by the way, and while you're watching everything that was happening further forward. On that note, we are going to go back there. Because Slim is starting to catch his teammate. Bear in mind, on this race at the moment, it won't be this way all season, but at this point in time, it's four teams of 3 that can speak English. Yeah, I mean, these two are probably going to have to start working together with Javi out in front. Bear in mind, Javi, Asador and Deco are on the same team. Here comes Slim to the inside of Anonymous. Anonymous not going to fight it. And there's Slim. There's a little bit of switching in the positions there. Looks like Anonymous got a bit too wide there on the exit. Oh, well, on the entrance into 1. A lot of things happen into the first corner of Daytona, realistically. It's such a winding corner. It comes so sharp and then bounces back out. Not quite a V, but it's not far away, so you have to try and figure out the most optimum path. Slim is having a very good lap as it stands. 45.8 is his best lap, and he's currently just shy of 2 tenths quicker than that. On the hard tyres would be an astounding lap. He's already cleared 1.5 seconds on Anonymous. Javi's about to pit for his second time. Anonymous won't be too far away from pitting for his first. Slim not even into red fuel yet. Deco now 1.2 seconds behind Asador. Starting just to close in at every opportunity. Another half a second again, chalked out on the last lap. The X is the next car after that. Ahead of Profke by 2.3 seconds. We're just seeing things start to take shape now. And Profke went on to another set of medium tyres. BX's teammates are not putting up a good fight either. You had JP at the back on almost dead softs. Javi into the pits. Javi now into the pits here. Slim and Anonymous staying out even further. We're on lap 22 and they've made those hard tyres go a decent chunk of time. To the point where they'd probably potentially saved multiple pit stops on Javi at this point. You now see Javi come in for the second time in this race. Asador and Deco just running their own a little bit at the moment. Deco again has to learn that you half shift this car. You cannot match the fuel on the other two drivers in the same team if you're not doing the same things. You can tell Asador and Javi are half shifting it. Purple first sector is not a bad start to lap 23 here. Slim is 1.5 seconds ahead of Anonymous. Anonymous seems to have stabilized that gap just a little bit. Which is good news. Didn't want his teammate running too far away into the lead of the race. Especially when you give that it's going to be very hard to beat Javi as it is. Give Javi a lead and he becomes almost impossible to beat. That means you actually have to overtake him. And there's not very many people who can say that they can overtake him based on raw pace anyway. Even people in esports struggle with that sentence. In comes Anonymous, first time into the pits here, so he's got a little bit less fuel than his teammate. His teammate's going to go one more before making his stop. Deco in as well. And that's the difference in the tyres, in the fuel saving. Look, Deco is completely out, and then you've got Asador just under 25. That is massive levels of difference if Asador can keep his car on the track. Asador having a bit of a slide there through turn one. You see that is, I think, a lapped car. I think that's JP. It is JP who's currently been lapped. Just got out the pits, I think. Yeah, he did just get out the pits on this lap. Go back to Slim. 17 seconds ahead right now. Is there any battles we have on track? Javi coming out 2 seconds ahead of BX's. A very intriguing position in the B. He's had one pit stop extra as well than BX. So BX has a lot of work cut out for him now. Even just to get second, he's got a lot of work cut out for him. And then Dr. Profke, who had a very comfortable lead, is now in fifth with his two teammates not that far behind. It's actually, yeah, it's Yuri right on the back of him, and then Anonymous, and then Spin. Bear in mind, Profke's only done one pit stop. Slim now into the pits for the first time. So we know Anonymous came out in 7th, pretty much about 2 seconds flat behind Yuri. Which also, for the good measure, gives him, what, roughly about 3-second deficit to Profke, who was in the lead by a lot more than that the last time we saw those two 1 and 2. If Anonymous can get himself closer into these two drivers, then he might stand a chance. In comes Yuri, so he's not going to have any chance to try and catch Yuri. It's just Profke in front of him now. What about Slim? That's the real question. Where is Slim coming out? He's in the Lexus. Is he going to be out ahead of anyone here? He might be about to beat Profka out. There is Profka, who's just come out just ahead of Slim, and it's barely even half a second. The Lexus fuel tank definitely helping out here, and giving Slim a glorious opportunity. Now we know Profka was the leader of the, well, second in the race. Javi was the leader of the race at the first set of pit stops. These two are fighting for position. So wait and see whether or not Slim can make this work quickly. The next car up for Slim would be BX, which is a massive statement. That's a further 7 seconds up the road. We go toward the bus stop chicane here on lap 25. Profka still has the advantage over Slim at this point in time. The Croatian driver beating out the Finnish driver as we head onto the main part of the outfield in Daytona. This oval bend here at the end of the lap. In theory, this is where the Supra should be able to start trying something to try and break this gap away, because the Lexus is not as quick in a straight line, probably even just about matched when it comes to slipstream. Bear in mind, one mistake is still enough to kill somebody's race here. Damage is permanent, as BX found out earlier. Here comes Slim to the inside. Can he get it done? Will he get it done? Profka, if he can get good enough exit, will hang on. He's got the inside line for the following corner. Profka, the Croatian, is definitely in a better position to hold on for now. Just ahead of Slim, but Slim's going to fight straight back. No, he isn't actually, and Profka's going to hold on. That's pretty well defended there by the Croatian. It would help if he could keep the car on the track out on the exit of the following corner, though, because he'd opened the door again. He'd opened the door a little bit massively now for Slim, especially as we head on to the oval now. Slim right behind the Supra. The Supra should be quicker in a straight line. We'll wait and see if there's a Lexus move being made here. It looked like there will be. It looked like Slim going for it to the inside here, the bus stop chicane. Can he get alongside enough? He will get alongside enough. He's actually ahead of Profka into the bus stop chicane, and Slim overtakes the Croatian for net P2. We were under the impression that Javi is in the lead of this race, and, well, quite frankly, we have no other reason to believe that he's not. Assador now into the pits. As you see, that was significantly later than Deco, and the strategy is going to vary massively now because of it. Javi, 4 seconds out of BX, then it's a further 8.5. It's 4.5 to BX and 8.5 to Slim, who's just going through turn 3. Now you can see the chicane on the wide shot here that him and that Slim and Profka were going at each other again into the beginning of the lap. And there's Anonymous not that far, well, I say not that far back, he's still 3 and some change seconds away from the two battling cars here for third on track. See if Profka's got anything to fight back here. Anything at all to try and fight back against this Lexus. That's not a good start. Sliding out of that corner is definitely not a good start, but he will have to slipstream here. His car should start to catch up just a little bit, being quicker in a straight line naturally. The slipstream should give him a lot more of an overspeed if he can stay within it. He is starting to close it down, but not by anywhere near as much as I thought he would do. He only got to 0.6 of a second, and now he's really got to get this right. Oh, that did not look good by either driver. We might be seeing a couple of penalties come on board here. Oh, that's a bit harsh that Profka got it and Slim didn't. Looked like they were both testing the very limits of the boundary there, and I think Profka may feel a little bit robbed on that one, and it's going to drop him outside the second mark as well. So there effectively goes any sort of slipstream he had been building up. BX is now into the pits. There's round 2 for him in the pit lane today. It looks like Spin is the next one after Anonymous. 6 seconds there. And then you got 2.5 to Squishy in 6th, then 1.3 to Jin in 7th, Vassador in 8th, Deco in 9th. Deco would be so far further forward if he knew that he was meant to half shift this car. And Yuri comfortably back on Deco, and BX with a lot of work to do in this last hour. Well, this last 70 minutes more, shall I say, because we've just hit the 50-minute mark now. BX has jumped Yuri by about 5 seconds in the pit, so he's come out in 10th. That still means he's 17 seconds off the back of the Corvette. It's still an hour left to go. BX is, in theory, the quickest driver left on this grid. You could potentially argue that with Javi. Between the two, but you would think that BX may be able to make 17 seconds up in the space of 70. We will wait and see though. That's just 17 seconds to catch up to 9th. Never mind to tack on the rest of the lead. Currently 48 seconds on track between Javi and BX. That's what happens when you make mistakes, I guess. Deco 7 tenths behind Asadon now. That didn't look too comfortable there for Squishy out in front of this pack. Right now the Corvettes are starting to starting to make their way through. They can catch up to the pack of 3 and pack of 2 in front. Pack of 3 realistically, if you want to include Spin, then we might turn this into a 5-way battle very quickly. Anonymous is right behind Profka. Profka's not had a good second stint. It's not been a good second stint for him whatsoever now. We go into the onto the back straight now, into the bus stop chicane between Profka and Anonymous, going to the inside. Does he go for it now? Even if he does, Profka's nailed it. Profka's nailed the inside line there. He could not have taken that much better if he tried. The only way that could have been better defensively if he just straight cut off Anonymous at the source in the bus stop chicane, and I think he's done a very good job to hold on. It probably won't last an awful lot longer, but he's definitely done a very good job right now of holding on to his position. Going into turn 1, that might be going a bit too hot. One thing's for certain, Anonymous definitely did go in a bit too hot. Hits the back of Profka, and well, it'll be as you were heading into turn 4 here. Slim 4.8 seconds ahead of these two drivers, and he's 15 seconds off the back of Javi. Javi is absolutely cruising this one right now in the opening hour. You certainly would have hoped it would have been a 1 hour race, not a 2 hour race, but I think he'll be fine either way. Profka's got a little bit of a gap to Anonymous right now to head onto the outfield. Was 8 tenths of a second, that just evaporated a couple of attempts there onto the outfield. 6 tenths of a second now split the two of them. You'd imagine that would come down probably to about 5, maybe about 4 if Anonymous is good at this for around this corner here. done exactly that, right to about 5/10 of a second. And Profka's going to do very well around this bus stop chicane again, and did enough to hold back Anonymous. Then you've got Spin, it's only half a second ahead of Squishy. We've got a bit of a fight going on now. Asador and Jin. So Asador is ahead of Jin now. Up in the 7th goes the Corvette, but he's picked up half a second for good measure. He'll serve that at the end of this lap, I'm pretty sure, so he'll drop it back. Yep, he'll drop the position back to Jin. He might go to Deco here as well. Certainly going to drop it to Jin. There goes the half second. Deco now trying to go. Is he going to be able to go? Spin into the pits. Deco is going to be able to go round the outside of Asador with the penalty. And yep, safe moves between the teammates here. Asador is fighting it back. Asador's fought it straight back and got it straight back. It's interesting because at that point you would have just you would have assumed that if they were in a chat and they were talking, you'd just let Deco either go by properly and see what he could do, or just not let him go by at all. That's a very interesting one between the two Chupa Chup Corvettes there. The X 16.6 behind the back of Deco now. But his two teammates are holding their own directly in front of the two Corvettes right now. Be great news for BX if BX was up beside Javi, but he's not. 44.5 currently the fastest lap right now, and that's Javi that said it. Currently on medium tyres, 72nd ahead of Slim. Slim is still still opening a gap in that second place right now. And then you've got Profka and Anonymous, who are 8 seconds ahead of Squishy. So we might have a fight for the podium at the back, well, right now here actually, between these two. So it looks like Slim and Javi might be 1-2 in this. Even though they're on different teams, the two RX drivers who drive together on a Sunday night. Keeping the team rivalry, I guess, going on a little bit in the 2-hour endurance series. Javi has been in a world of his own right now. No one's really touched him since he got to the lead. It looks like Jin and Asador going at it. Asador on the outside. Can he get it done? Asador will get it done. That's a good move. Sticking it round the outside of turn 4 is no easy feat. And he does move up in the 6th. Deco has got to get this done straight away. Got to take advantage of this. His teammates just created the hole. Is he going to be able to punch his way through it? Because I think Squishy might be a slightly easier task when they get to him. Deco is getting a lot closer to Jin than Jin is to Asador, that's a certain. As they head down the straight now, if Jin's getting overtaken, he's going to force him to go to the outside of the bus stop chicane. They're going side by side right now. Jin holds on. I have to switch the camera angle here because the game didn't give me a good camera angle, but Jin had an awful exit there in the bus stop chicane, and Deco will just fly by with no real issues. And Jin's got a half-second penalty. Well, that will be game, set, and match between these two then, as Asador and Squishy are fighting out in front for 5th place right now. Squishy is holding on, doing just about enough between the two. Oh, as soon as I say that, he goes so deep that he might be about to get reset to track. He is. Oh, that is wildly deep into turn 1. I think he just lost track of where he was. Because he never got on the brakes in time at all there. Absolutely incredible, the mistake from Squishy in turn 1. Asador and Deco aren't complaining because they're just going to drive off into the distance now. Anonymous got past Profka as well, for good measure. So, yeah, it's a moment of madness there for the team Team PlayStation. And then Anonymous has tried to secure himself a top 3 finish. They got Asador 8 seconds off the back here. There is still enough time for Asador to make his name known in this fight. Deco is not that far behind, but again, the fuel saving of Deco's car is gonna be his own. It's gonna be his Achilles heel here, because even though he's been neck and neck with Asador the entire time, and in parts quicker than Asador, he's just losing far too much time in the pits. He's probably lost about 5 or 6 seconds already. He'd be clear of Asador by now. We've got a yellow flag. We've got a yellow flag. It's Anonymous. Anonymous. Oh, he's in the wall. He was in the wall at turn 1. Oh, damage to the front left and the front bumper. And as soon as, it's what I was saying earlier, that one mistake can flip everything on its head. And it's done exactly that here for Anonymous. As soon as I said that he might be looking onwards and upwards for a podium place, he immediately bowled it. And now Profka's not going to get a much better chance of a podium than he is now. No man's land for the next hour. Asador is starting to drive away from Deco just a little bit. He is on soft tyres compared to Deco's mediums. So the fact that Deco is actually being able to hold on against Asador for a large part of this stint, it's actually quite insane. Asador needs to get moving realistically. Yeah, Anonymous damage. He's got to come in at the end of this lap. He's not going to get Jin here, not unless he gets a significantly better exit. BX is 10 seconds off the back now. All of a sudden, BX might have a couple of an opportunity at a couple of positions by the end of this one. I can't imagine this is anything but a pit. Yeah, and Anonymous is heading straight for the pit. Slim probably feeling a little bit disappointed right now, given the fact that his teammate was in third. They had a 2-3, what looked to be in the bag in the first hour, and it's just kind of fallen by the wayside after that mistake. You know, JP 158 at the back, Spin is in 11th, Squishy 1.2 seconds ahead of them at the moment, then Yuri is 13 seconds ahead of that. And BX clearing Yuri by 10, and then 9 off of the back of Jin, and then Jin is 5 seconds off the back of Deco, who's now only 1.5 off of Asador, who is really not doing much of a favour for himself on this soft tyre right now. And he is quite catching up to Profka. And I'm not entirely sure what happened to Slim. Oh, Slim's got damage now! Slim's got damage now! Which means he's made a mistake! Oh, and the Lexus team have just crumbled. Blown opportunities again. With someone with the name Eric's attached to him. Eric Slim with a mistake, a quite vital mistake by the looks of things. Having damage on that front right, front left now. Is he going to pit? I would assume so. Oh, he's staying out. He's staying out. Oh, this could be a very interesting choice. Profka might profit again here. A gigantic opportunity falling into the laps of Profka if he can take it. And you've got the 2 Corvettes. We might be about to witness a 1-2-3 And this is the beauty of heavy damage, I guess. It's not fun if you're the one taking the heavy damage, but if you're just sat here like we are right now on the YouTube and on the YouTube stream, and we're just watching these guys go around the track constantly for 2 hours, heavy damage is going to throw a spanner in the works and alternate kind of the results at the end of the day. Harvey now has a 35-second advantage. That might be game over already. Harvey now has the ability to pit and come out in the lead of this race with Profka going down the inside. Gets him. It's a pretty good move there by Profka. In the bus stop chicane there, taking advantage of Slim's damage. It's exactly what he needed to do. Get a bit aggressive where he had the opportunity to, and he did exactly that. And that pushes him up in the second. Slim has realised that he cannot stay out with that damage. That damage is far too limiting on that car to stay out. You've just got to take the extra pit stop if it's not fitting into your strategy and pray at that point. Jin now into the pit stop of his soft tyres. This is going to turn into a massive day at the office here, if there isn't a mistake by a driver in blue. Corvettes could be off to an absolute flyer here in 2 hour endurance. We'll see, Deco's going right on, well, Deco's right on the back of Asador here, and then Asador's right on the back of Profka. It's going to take a lot here for Profka to hold on, especially against soft tyres. I am still incredibly impressed at Deco's ability to hold this close to a soft tyre driver. Oh, Profka going a little bit too far out to try and open the corner up. That might be a bit too much. That might be half a second tacking on there. Wait and see. And again, going to give him mercy a little by the looks of things. It's going to not give him the half second. It looked like he did cross the line, but he's not going to complain. Now pulling out to make sure Asador doesn't get the slipstream, and Deco's going to help his teammate. Deco's going to bump draft his teammate toward turn one. Asador, if he can get it slowed down, has got an opportunity to go past Profka if he can keep his car from sliding, that is. Which he couldn't do so, and now he's going to have to sit behind Profka for a little while longer. Perhaps an exit or two that are perfect might open the door. That certainly wasn't perfect by Profka. There's a lot of grass kicked up, a lot of dirt being put onto the track therefore. Profka is still ahead. Again, opening the door, and this time it's a bit too wide. This time is a bit too wide, and Asador is going to take advantage of that every single day of the week. Profka, you could tell, just went too wide. That opened the door too much to try and get on the, well, I don't think he was trying to get on the grass. He was just trying to open the corner up so he could get a nicer angle through it, and went just a bit too much to the left-hand side. And that will do it. And here comes Deco now as well. Deco looking to make it a double for the Corvette, using the slipstream off Asador, which is a wise move. Profka has been known to defend this inside well, and he's doing it again. Profka is doing amazing work defending on the inside of this bus stop chicane. It has got to be said. He's also got a run out of that final chicane. He might be going after Asador here. Is he going to have enough time to go after Asador by the time they hit turn one? That was about as good of a bus stop chicane as you could possibly have hoped for. He's not going to be able to do it. He's gone a little bit too deep here as well. It should be in second gear, not third. And yeah, as a result, he's lost a little bit of time to Acid on the exit. Going into the second, the 2-3 chicane. This Corvette getting a far better acceleration at the exits right now than that Supra is. Oh, again, just a bit deep, but this time he's got the car stopped enough to go around. Asador also made the same mistake, but again, the Corvette exit is just good enough to put a dent in the Supra's hopes. That's not how you want to take that corner, that's a certain. Yeah, that's going to open the door. That's well and truly opened the door now. Well, here comes Deco. A lot closer this time. I don't think Profka's going to be enough alongside to defend this one. If he is, this would be one hell of a move. Nope, he's conceded it this time. Yeah, just the wrong angle out of the final corner onto the outfield, and it's cost him dearly. Asador has also cleared Deco by quite some margin. BX is somehow in 5th after all this. Profka's currently only used medium tyres. He might be going straight back after Deco to the inside of turn 1. A little bit of contact between the two. Deco's having a bit of a mare on the inside of turn 1. Just about keeps the car together. Looked like he was going far too shallow, and again, Deco deep this time. Profka, if he can get to the inside with a bit of a switchback. Oh, a little bit of a slide. And it's just too much of a slide to get a good enough exit for the switchback to stick. And what looked like a golden opportunity, because Deco had screwed up there, has fallen by the wayside. Deco just about hanging on for dear life against Profka there. And Asador now has a 2-second gap on Deco in 3rd place. And you got Javi still, well, Javi's gap is even further ahead now. It's 38.8 seconds as he is now rounding turn 1 on lap 41. Well, we are now sufficiently into the second hour of this race. Got about 50 minutes to go. Profka is still on the back of Deco. There is still opportunities here for Profka if he can hang on for long enough. Profka's going into the pits. Never mind. Profka into the pits off the medium tyres. BX is still hanging about here as well. BX is currently 22.5 seconds ahead of Slim after Slim's mistake. Bear in mind, Slim had a mistake, BX had a mistake, Anonyma had a mistake, so they're all leveled out now. All three of them have hit the wall quite drastically enough to give them the same amount of damage, actually, because they all had the front left tyre and the front bumper flashing red on the screen. All had to pit as a result of the damage, so they're all probably fighting for position now. Squishy in 7th at the moment, Spin after that, and then Anonyma after that is getting himself alongside, or potentially trying to go the long way round against the tier 3 rival here. Oh, Slim got, not Slim, Spin, sorry, has got a bit too deep, but he somehow held it together. Anonyma is still on his inside, and he realizes that eventually. But Spin, again, doing enough to defend. And yeah, the Supra, the Supras combined have been putting on a defensive click so far today, to be completely honest. Spin's just going to close this door off, make sure that there's nothing there for Anonyma. He does it well. Jin is the next car up, 3.7 seconds behind right now. If Spin Pi here can get himself close enough to Profka, he might be able to hang on. Deco is now out of fuel. Not entirely sure how much he had to do with no fuel in the tank, if anything at all. Here comes Anonymous around the outside. Spin realizes he's there, has to let him out. Is he going to be alongside enough to go for it? He is. He's late braking, and what defending move that is again from a Super in the bus stop chicane. The late braking on the Super is a ballsy, but it's working to perfection right now. It might not be working now though. Here comes Anonymous again to the outside. Spin again, defending to the inside. Spin again is going to have enough to hold on. Never mind, no he's not, but that's because Anonymous literally clobbered him on the way through. Yeah, Anonymous realizes that as well, and that's what causes Anonymous to wait for Spin to go back by, because yeah, Anonymous saw that he definitely tagged the American in front of him. It looked like Deco has jumped Profka out the pits. Oh, that's unfortunate for Profka. Looks like Deco 1.7 seconds now ahead of Profka. Is going to be advantage that Corvette. Squishy 6 seconds ahead of that, and then BX is the next. No, Slim's the next car. Sorry, 8.4 seconds ahead of Squishy, and Slim did not have the greatest of bus stop chicanes there by any means. 22 seconds further ahead of that is BX, who has recovered quite handedly at this point, and then you've got Asador. His tyres, his fuel is significantly better than Deco's, and it is insane that that's the case. Deco is gonna have to look back after this and figure it out, or at least ask his teammates what they did differently. And then you got Javi 41 seconds out in front. It's just game over for the lead of the race. You know it's game over when Javi can quite literally go into the pits and come out of the pits with a 10-second advantage. We are currently 45 minutes now to the end of this race. Everyone's starting to spread out just a little bit. It looks like Profka's been overtaken by Anonymous. So Anonymous got both the Supras very quickly there. Anonymous up in the 7th, doesn't have to look at the red and black car of the back of the Super any longer. Been doing him a number so far today. Let's see if there's any fight back in Profka. He's had a lot so far today. He hasn't really known when he's been down and out. That's a certain. Not a name I had on my radar going into this, but one thing's for certain, he has definitely put on a clinic today. It's not as high as he should be, quite frankly, for the driving he's put on, which is a shame. We will see how it unfolds, everything unfolds when all the pit stops are done. There is still a very, very long time in this race still to go. Pretty much equal to the length of a feature race on our Monday series left in this 2-hour race. About 40 minutes. Profka probably needs to realize his angle there. His apex is maybe a little bit too early for the first corner in Daytona. Javi is now into the pits, and this is where we get to test the theory of if he can come out and still have a significant gap again. Profka just too deep. JP is on the side of the track causing a yellow flag. That'll be a penalty. if someone reports it. Here comes, I think that spin on his own teammate, way too deep, and gets his own teammate as collateral. Oh, that's, well, that would be a push to pass, that's a certain. No need to debate that one. Profka again deep into the outfield now. He's got to stop making mistakes now. He's got to just sit and relax. Calm himself down, because that's what seemingly is happening right now for the Croatian driver, with Jin now right behind him. Got to get this right. No way he's going for this. Oh, Profka's gone way too deep! And as soon, I said he'd got to get himself just calm, composed and relaxed. He didn't. Just flat out did not do that. Missed the corner drastically and compounded another mistake with a mistake. Spin is trying to close down Anonymous here. It'll be very interesting if he can do it. Deco now 6 seconds clear of Anonymous here in 6th. Squishy in front of that, and we'll go see how far BX is up. I think it's about 27-second pit loss in Daytona. So we'll see in a minute whether or not BX has gained that 27-second gap on anybody. Bearing in mind the three that could have challenged Tabby in this race, Anonymous, Slim and BX, have all had damage, spins leading to damage. And Deco and Squishy, and Deco's got the inside line as they go on to the outfield, and that should give him a run. But Squishy's going to come straight back. Squishy's going to come straight back as they head into the bus stop chicane. He's gone early. Gone very early into the brakes, but the inside line is once again the most prevalent line, and that'll give him the move over Deco for now. Will Deco have another bit of fight back in him? Assador now into the pits with 0 fuel. Squishy defending the inside. Deco's going to have to go the long way round, and Squishy's going into the pits. So Deco is now out on his own. Aslador, his teammate, just into the pits. Can only imagine this is going to be another full tank. 92% going in and into Aslador's car. He's going to come out effectively immediately behind his teammate. Deco's going to have to pit again. There you go, and there might be still another stop for Assador as well and do 20 minutes on both tyres. It could be a bit of what's going on. We will wait and see. Strategies are still unfolding in front of us. The Slim is comfortably ahead of Deco. And then BX is 22 seconds ahead of Slim, so he doesn't quite have a pit stop advantage. Harvey came in and out of the pits. He's 15 seconds ahead of BX. He was... Assador was ahead of BX, so I'm not entirely sure how far he is ahead of Assador at this point in time. 56 seconds after Assador's pit as well. Assador did not look too comfortable in any means going into the bus stop chicane there. His teammate's starting to pull a little bit away. And Anonymous also gaining in that bus stop chicane. That's how not aggressive Assador was through that bus stop chicane. We are now in the morning here at Daytona. Up and down the grid, do we have any battles? So JP is quite a way off the back, 2 minutes 5 off of the back of Squishy, who's 5 seconds off the back of Yuri in the Supra right now, and then Spin ahead is now heading into the pits. Will he get out ahead of Yuri? That's the question. And then you got Profka here as well, who's now behind Jin. And Profka has absolutely deserved more from this race than he currently has. Wait and see if they're going to swing back his way later on. Oh, that did not look good there for Profka. A bit deep again. His first stint was great. His second stint wasn't that bad either. But every stint since has started to fall by the wayside just a little bit. BX is now into the pits. Jin 2.7 behind Anonymous, who's now 8 seconds off the back of Asador. So Anonymous might have had a bit of an issue. And he doesn't drop 4 seconds in one lap if you don't. Deco is still gaining on Asador as we go lap by lap. Slim should get out ahead of BX here. Shouldn't be by a lot though. Probably going to be about 5 seconds in it, I think. It was 22 going into the pits. BX has now started fueling his car, and Slim has now driven by the pit lane, so everything that happened now is a gain advantage. Is Deco getting out in front of BX? If that's the case, then the pit stop is a significant amount more than the 27 seconds I thought it was. It's a significant amount more, that's a certain. He's lost, what, 19-21 off the back of Slim. He was already 22 ahead of him, so it's a rough estimate of about 40 seconds, on the high side of 40 seconds of a pit stop loss. So BX is a long way back now. It's actually about 45 seconds in total that he lost. He was only 15-16 behind Javi at the front. He is on a medium tyres now. He's got Asador directly in front of him. BX has managed to fight his way back to 5th. Not entirely sure if he's got enough in the tank right now to go to the end. If he had, then it would make sense that he does that, because I'm pretty sure Asador and Deco still have to pick. Would be a guaranteed podium if that was the case. Especially with the 40 second pit loss is a massive amount of time. It does mean that Javi, technically, if Slim isn't going to the end, but hypothetically, if Slim was able to go to the end here, Javi just about has enough of a gap. Javi hasn't long since pit. So look at what Javi's doing right now. He's currently on a purple lap. 43.8 was his last one. He's now on a better lap than that. Still on a better lap. Not by an awful lot. Just by a quarter of a tenth of a second here. But there is still a chance that he improves on that 43.8. Maybe into the 43.7s if he can do it well enough in this final sector. No, he's actually down. Never mind, he lost a ton of time there in the final sector, so after all that, the fastest lap stayed at the 43.8. That did not look as good for Slim, that's a certain. 1.2 seconds off his fastest lap right now. He's been doing 45s for the last couple of laps. Javi is slaughtering him at the moment, but it is to do with his tyre. Hey, Profka. Asador a half second penalty. That should bring him towards BX here. Kind of driving on your own now a little bit, Profka, eh? What happened to you from Jin? Oh, Jin! That might be... He kept the car going. Oh, that was going dangerously close to resetting the car. Not entirely sure what happened to you, Profka. You were right behind Jin a minute ago. Oh, that's a half-second penalty to go with it. Spin behind Squishy, and then there's Yuri, and then there's Profka, who's got a half-second penalty. Jin in 7th, Anonyma in 6th, 6 seconds ahead of Jin right now. Still a number of pit stops to come. Yeah, it's probably not one of them. Half an hour left on the clock. And BX is still, somehow, after the mistakes early on course for potentially a podium. Especially if he doesn't have to pit again. If he does not have to pit again, that's a podium almost pretty much sealed away, I think. If he does have to pit again, he's probably going to be fighting Asador here for P4, and Deco will get the podium. Either way, it's been an exceptional day at the office for the Corvette. And BX is now 2 seconds behind Asador. Asador needs to put the foot on the gas. It's been a bit too safe, I think. Yeah, 46.5. Ah, your son is driving now. Ah, fair enough. That explains the drop-off as well. No offense. Yeah, that does explain the drop-off a little bit. You did extremely well in the first hour and some change. Extremely well. Deserved a lot more than you're currently getting, that's for certain. But yeah, and I've been saying the entire race. Jill can be my thing here. The moves these Supras have been making into the bus stop chicane have been, whilst incredibly ballsy, they've been stuck incredibly well today. They've been pinpoint, realistically, those moves into the bus stop chicane. And basically everybody, they had a few on Deco. Pretty sure Spin had one at one point as well. They just stuck it on the inside. Been pretty effective. I think there was Spin on Anonyma. BX is just dropping off the back of BX. Well, BX is just dropping off the back of Asador, sorry. Can't drop off the back of yourself. Which would indicate that Asador has actually figured out where the throttle pedal is. Apart from where he's actually going through that bus stop chicane, he's not getting it at the moment. Losing a ton of time in that particular set of corners. Deco 5.7 up the road. You know, the Slim 14 seconds up ahead of that, and then 46 seconds to the lead. Javi has been cruise control for the last 40 minutes. Since getting past Profka for the lead. Slim will have to pit again. Javi will have to pit again. We'll wait and see how close they're going to get. Not really. They're not going to really get close. But how close everyone else is going to get to them. The way this ends is realistically just down to who does and doesn't have to pit from this point. I think the only one that doesn't have to pit with the extra 27 minutes left on the clock is BX. On the medium tires, went to full fuel. I think he should have enough left in the tank to just be on his own now, and it would take him to roughly about 20 seconds off the back of Javi after Javi's pit stop, which would put him in third. Actually, no, it wouldn't. It would put him in second by quite some margin. Deco losing out quite heavily, quite handedly to Asador on this lap. I wonder if Deco, there's the pit for Slim. This is the last pit stop for Slim then, isn't it? I don't really see another way where it isn't his last stop. Pretty sure he started on a hard, so he shouldn't really have too many issues in terms of filling the tyre requirements. Oh, Astrodog going a little bit wide there. The exit, the entrance into turn 1, the apex is a lot further in than that, my friend. BX is a lot closer to Astrodog now. Slim coming out the pits onto another set of softs. I don't know if that's enough fuel to go to the end, you know. I guess we'll wait and see. I am very, very intrigued as to how many laps there is left in this race, because I don't know, Slim is doubling up. Just looks like an abnormally low amount of fuel, but he is 7 seconds behind BX now. He is on soft, so if he isn't doubling up, if he is going to the end, he's got 7 seconds to catch on BX, who is in his own right, trying to catch Astrodor right now, and then Deco directly in front of that. Slim is in a Lexus, so the fuel tank is a lot bigger in that particular car. So it is entirely possible that it's just a visual trick. There's more than enough fuel, but we will wait and see. 4.5 seconds split Deco and Astrodor. Minute and 4 split Deco and Javi. There's absolutely still a pit for Deco, Astrodor and Javi, so that's still as we are. Which will promote BX into second, even after his glaring mistake earlier. Slim also had a glaring mistake when he crashed into the wall. Anonymous, for good measure, is also included in that conversation. It might not cost him eventually. Oh, as soon as I turn off Deco, Deco's in the wall. He's got damage to the front of his car. His front bumper and his right tire, which is a different combination of what we're used to seeing around Daytona. And Deco, oh, that is a costly error on what could have been a top 4. Might just elude him now. There I was saying the entire time the fuel might be an Achilles heel. Spin will definitely add to that. And now the 4 of the top 6 are span enough to the point where they're going to have to pit off the damage that they received off their spin. So, massive, massive mistake there for Deco. But it is what it is, isn't it? As soon as they go offer somebody or pay them a compliment, they go straight into a wall. It's still going on here. BX is now comfortably ahead of Astrodor. Astrodor still probably has to pit as well. We've got a ton of time. Deco into the pits. That is not at all surprising. He now can go to the end on a new set of softs. The real question is how much damage has that done to his race? Oh, Profka's son got damage now as well. Ooh, that's not good news. He needs to come into the pits ASAP then. Get off the... oh, that's damage for you. How have you managed that damage? Damage to the rear left tire and nothing else. What did you hit? Yeah, Profka in, Deco in. Squishy's got no damage. Jin's got a half-second penalty. Spin should be going to the end from here, realistically. Squishy definitely is. Squishy is absolutely going to the end. Then you got Yuri here with the damage to his suspension in the back. I don't really know how much that's going to affect him. He has managed, you can tell they did it on the lap, there's the 48 there. Oh, it might have been the 54 actually. It's just starting to trickle down the time as he gets more used to it. He is 13 seconds off the back of Deco. Deco will not have to worry at all about anything outside the top 6. He's about to get slipstream off of JP as well. Anonymous will have to pit, so Deco will still gain the position on Anonymous. Slim does not. Asador might. It's going to be really close whether or not. If Asador has to pit, it's going to be really close on whether or not Asador is going to get jumped here by Deco. Not entirely sure. Not entirely sure he will. BX is loving life right now because he is very much in the clear. Don't think there's going to be very many issues in terms of a second place for him. Javi now into the pit. And he gets to assess all the carnage that has happened around him at this point in this race. Everyone behind him made mistakes where he hasn't. That's realistically what's opened the race for him, that's for certain. BX is still not really clearing Asador by any means here. There's 1.7 seconds, but he isn't really doing much in terms of damage. Deco versus Anonymous. Deco's out ahead of Anonymous. And again, the tires versus the fuel. I don't really think there's going to be much that Anonymous can do here. He's just going to put down the faster laps. Deco might still have a top 5 after his mistake. The only two without mistake in the top 6 are Asador and Javi. Really don't know if there's enough laps in the car for Asador for him to get to the end here. Certainly enough for BX. No question about that. BX is now 40 seconds off the back of Javi. So, on that premise, Javi can pit. Probably not quite come back out ahead of BX, but he can definitely pit and still be right here and make things interesting, but he definitely won't. He'll just drive away from this point onwards. Probably just heading on to the outfield now. I think that is the Javi car. Yeah, the end of the back straight. Slim is going to be the one that challenges Asador now. If Asador's going to the end on these tyres, I think he's probably going to drop off BX eventually. BX's tyres are not going to fall off. Asador's are probably going to be a bit rough at the end. And you got Slim, whose tyres are not going to be affected at all. There is still a chance for a podium, and then if that's the case, Slim gets the podium, then it'll be 3 different teams on the podium. But the only issue is for the rest of them is that Asador and Deco are giving Javi very much adequate help. And that's going to be the story of the championship after round 1, isn't it? The Corvettes have done enough in the second and third man just to get themselves a good lead at the end of the championship after round 1 of 4. Bear in mind this championship is every second week. See if if Slim got any sort of inclination here. He's going to be able to charge down Asador. 2.7 seconds. We've got just over 15 minutes left on the clock. In theory, Slim should not have much of an issue catching Asador here, but he's not really chunking out the time. That BX directly in front. That is BX directly in front. There might be enough time that Slim might be able to steal a second here. 5 seconds to BX on a quicker tyre isn't impossible. It's not likely, but it isn't impossible. And Deco 38 seconds behind. He's 5 seconds ahead of Anonymous. He should be pretty wrapped up there in 5th. Anonymous should be pretty wrapped up there in 6th. So it's just a case of any mistakes up front for these two to move positions, or if they make mistakes of their own, Squishy and Pi as Jin might be able to start playing a little bit. It's not been a good day at the office here for the super class, that's a certain. Alright, let's go back to the front here. Let's go back to this group. BX is starting to gap Astrodor rather rapidly here. Albeit, hasn't really gained anything to Slim. I think it might be more Astrodor dropping off than anything else. 46.5, 45.3, 44.9. Yeah, it absolutely is just Astrodor dropping off compared to the other two. As Slim gained 4 tenths of a second in that last lap. That might be enough by the end of this. I don't know how many laps we have left. Just trying to work it out in my head. It's 3 minutes 30 for 2 laps, and then it'll be what, 7 minutes for, so we've got 14 is 8 laps, so we've got roughly about 8 laps to go, I think, if my math is correct, that I've just done off the top of my head. Bear in mind this is a timed race, so we don't have a lap counter, so I am expecting the race to go somewhere in the region of about 67 laps. Slim should get Astrodor. Should not really be much of an issue here either. He is chunking Astrodor's time rapidly. 44.7. He's going even quicker than the last lap we saw him do. BX 45.1 and another 4 tenths chalked out of BX's time here by Slim. Slim just needs to deal with Astrodor extremely quickly here. He can get it done quickly. He's definitely going to be able to open up an opportunity at BX. Albeit he might need to do it a little bit quicker than what he's currently doing it at. Currently about 5 seconds split between BX and Slim. I might be opening up a little bit more now because Slim not able to get past Astrodor yet. As they head now onto the outfield. This is Slim's glorious opportunity. He's got to get it done now. He has got to get this done now if he stands any chance of a top 2. Otherwise it'll just be too late if he has to stick behind him for any longer. Slim realizes this. Now looking to the inside. Gets alongside of Astrodor. Still going. Still alongside. Maybe a little bit in front now. Late brakes. And Slim gets an exceptionally nice exit there. Nice run out of the bus stop chicane. Clears Astrodor by about half second and now realizes he's got 5.6 to the car in front. The X's mediums are better than the softs on Slim's car, but the softs should not fall off at all between now and the end of this race. Astrodor into the pits. Realised that he has a lot of time to deco. He's probably got enough time to get in and out and put a little bit of fuel in and stay in 4th. You see the BX there in the background of your screen. Slim just popping into the foreground, now into the background. As we go through turn 3, with the driver in the Lexus, he is not catching up with BX. If anything, BX is gapping. BX is starting to gap Slim ever so slightly now, and this is not good news for Slim if he wants anything higher than just the bottom step of the podium. Astador coming out comfortably ahead of Deco, not even close. 12 seconds the gap there. And then Deco's got 7 seconds advantage to Anonyma, who realistically never recovered from his mistake earlier on. But then you got Spin, 20 seconds off the back of Anonyma in 7th. He's done well to recover a little bit. Oh, Squishy in 8th, Jin in 9th. The two PlayStation drivers there, 8th and 9th, not really helping BX out a lot. Then you got Profka in 10th, 11th is Yuri, and then JP is at the back in the Lexus. Javi's just cruise controlling his way around this track now. Realistically, 39 seconds. It doesn't really matter how he drives. There's no realistic way he loses this, even on a spin. But for entertainment's sake, if he can get some damage here, it brings him a lot closer to BX if he has to pit. We are on lap 62 of what should be 67 or 68. A lot of gap. That separates Javi and BX right now. It could be the case that Javi might be the only one to get the extra lap. BX 40 seconds off the pace. He is still gapping Slim though. Slim is just realistically not putting a dent into BX's time here. BX should still get second by virtue of literally everyone else he was fighting also spinning. Astador 25 seconds off the back of Slim, so Slim is very much in the same place as Javi, just a couple of places further down. Then you've got Deco 12 seconds off the back of Astador and 8 ahead of Anonyma by this point. Everyone is just very much spread apart. Do we have any sort of battle at all? Let's see, what's Squishy and Jin doing? Half a second that splits the two PlayStation drivers. See the green on the car, the German car, Squishy, and red on the German for Jin, on the German car driver's car. And Jin might be able to have a go at this. He is on racing hards. And so Squishy had damage. Oh, that's what's caused the interesting bit between these two then. So Squishy got damage. Okay, so Jin should be able to get by even on hards. That damage is rather significant. Very reminiscent of what we saw from the front in terms of the damage to the right, the front left and the front bumper. Yuri might be able to start heading toward them now because Jin seemingly getting held up by his teammate. And Squishy has damage, so there is a small window of opportunity here for Yuri to gain a couple of extra points for the Supra team. Make the day for them ever so slightly better. He is currently not far from being lapped. So you got Profke right behind him as well. Can only mean that is it Slim? Or is it the two? I think it might be the two. Might be Deacon. I'm not entirely sure who is actually behind him right now. Jin got past Squishy though. They're headed to turn 1. Jin is a bit deep. Managed to keep it all on the track though. Just about well enough. Yeah, Squishy's got a lot of damage there. That's the only issue for him. He's now 6.5 seconds ahead of speed. I don't know if I don't know if there's enough time left realistically for him to do much about it. Who is the car currently behind him? I think it might be BX. It is BX. We've just gone past Profka there. BX starting to lap most of the grid as well. Slim 7 seconds off the back of BX. That's pretty much a done, dusted deal. At this point in the season, Slim just poking his way onto the outfield now. I think the podium pretty much set in its way unless there's a massive mistake on the last couple of laps for our pleasure, viewing pleasure. But I doubt that's really going to happen. They've got Asador followed by Deco. It's losing time to the Anonymous actually. Not enough time. It's losing time nonetheless. Yuri is now 5.2 seconds behind Squishy. He's got a chance. Closing rapidly on Jin as well. About 3 laps to go. There is a chance here that Yuri has a position or two to gain. Not over here for the Supers by any means. 4.4 now. He is chunking out all the time in the world. 46.2. About 3 seconds on the last lap. And Jin really isn't doing much better. 48.1 on the last lap. He's on the hard tire. He's having a bit of an issue trying to get them to work. And this in the last 3 or 4 laps now presents a glorious opportunity then. Also, Squishy going very deep there into turn 6 here at Daytona. Yeah, the glorious opportunity has presented itself here to Yuri with about 4 minutes to go. Is he going to run out of time? That's the real question. BX all but lapping him as well isn't going to help. If I was Yuri, I would not be moving. He's still got quite a lot of leeway here with the blue flag. Given the fact that BX really isn't in an overtaking position to bring out a blue flag right now. Game going a little bit earlier than normal. Deco is gaining time on Anonymous, but it has lost a significant amount prior. Yuri now 2.8. There's about 3 laps to go. She should get Squishy. He should get Squishy. I don't know if he'll get Jin. This is a big moment here for Yuri. It's not been a great day for him. Realistically, even by his standards, he'll tell you it hasn't been a great day. Maybe swing the tide just a little bit if he can get something going late. But he's been overtaken by BX, and now the time is going to start drifting away a little bit here. You have to use BX's slipstream just to get close enough to Squishy and Jin. We've got about 2 minutes left on the clock. BX certainly won't get the extra lap. Javi will. So Javi will be the only one that goes the extra mile. So it'll be the lap 68 for Javi, I believe. Javi might be about to get 69 as well. Could be very interesting here in terms of how many laps it ends up being. Let's go back to this. Squishy is right up on the back of Jin again. Jin really has not been able to break away here, and Yuri is using BX's slipstream to chunk out the time here. It might just be too little too late though. Squishy getting in, nice apex Dave, and there with he got damage on that front left. Doing a nice job of it, of keeping it together. JP, the blue flag car there, getting out the way as soon as he possibly can. Yuri needs to be a bit better on the final lap than that. I think he may have just thrown away any chance he actually had here. BX and Squishy, so Squishy is going to have to get out the way of his teammate. Albeit if I was BX here, I'd just take the points and run and just use and then push Squishy along rather than anything else. Because if he doesn't take the points and run here, Squishy's going to get caught. Yuri is right there. BX has to help his teammate. If he goes for an overtake, he is screwing his teammate. And rightfully so, BX does help his teammate. So he is just going to settle for the points because Javi, we're going to have an entire lap of Javi here. We actually hit the 2-minute mark now. So Spin is the first one over the line. He's going to finish 7th. BX is going to go over the line now as well. Squishy is going to get away with it. BX has helped him out just about enough that him and Jin are both going to get away with this. There you go, Jin in 8th, Squishy in 9th, BX goes over in 2nd. Yuri's going to have to settle for 10th. JP is in 12th. I'm not entirely sure what Yuri's doing. Guess he's waiting to try and Ferrari kind of Schumacher this over the line, I guess. No, he's just he's just letting Profka beat him. Fair enough. We've still got the cars driving round. Asador to the line. Yellow flag is obviously the cars that have just parked up. You have Deco and Anonyma. Those two fighting out, but it really wasn't that close between them in the end. Javi picked up a half-second penalty. Not that he matters because he has a victory lap. 47 seconds. 47 seconds to get margin of victory in the end. Javi to the line. Is going to do a bit of celebrations on his victory lap. Little bit of donuts. He probably should realize that he's in fact on the clock. Go to the line, and Javi will win the first 2-hour endurance race of the season here at Daytona. And quite frankly, it wasn't that close. Domination from the first minute. He got in front of Prof early and then never looked back. Javi just cruise controlled for an hour and a half. And he's going to take that every day of the week. There you go. That is how we ended. 2 hours, 1 minute, 54 seconds for Javi is your winning time. Fastest lap by an entire second. To BX in 2nd, who got away with spins from Slim and Deco and Anonyma. And so probably someone else I haven't mentioned here as well. But yeah, it's a massive day at the office for the Corvette Group 1, 4 and 5. They will absolutely hold a gigantic lead going into the second race of the season in 2 weeks' time. Which I hope I'll be able to commentate. But we will wait and see. But for now, it's been about 2 hours and 9 minutes on the stream. I've enjoyed the time. I've enjoyed doing comments for you guys today. A lot longer than normal. But after all, yeah, the donuts were pretty fun on the celebration lap. It was nice to see someone taking advantage of it. But at the end of the day, that's everything I have for you today. And I'll see you next time. In a bit.